Years ago, I was sitting in a sacrament meeting with my father, whose name is the same as my own, Henry Eyring. He seemed to be enjoying what I thought was a terrible talk. At the risk of giving deep offense, I think it was a High Council visitor. I am not sure. At least I know that it was someone I did not know, and it was, I think, perhaps in my college years. I watched my father, and to my amazement, his face was beaming as the speaker droned on, and I really was amazed. I kept stealing looks back at him to see. And sure enough, through the whole thing, just this beatific smile as this person went on. Now, our home was near enough to the ward that we walked home. And so I remember walking with my father, in fact, on a street that wasn't then paved. And I can remember kicking a stone ahead of me as I plotted what I would do next. I tried to get up enough courage to ask him, and finally I did what he thought of the meeting. He said it was wonderful. Now I really had a problem. My father had a wonderful sense of humor, but you didn't want to push it too far, and I was almost afraid, and I was puzzled. I was trying to summon up enough courage to ask him how I could have such a different opinion of that meeting and that speaker. Now, like all good fathers, he must have read my mind, because he started to laugh. And he said, "Hal, let me tell you something. Since I was a very young man, I have taught myself to do something in a church meeting. When the speaker begins, I listen carefully, and I ask myself what it is he is trying to say. Then once I think I know what he's trying to accomplish, I give myself a sermon on that subject." He let that sink in for a moment as we walked along, and then he chuckled again with that special self-deprecating chuckle of his and said, "Hal, since then I've never been to a bad meeting."